Hey, Stephanie. God morning. God morning. Gonna let the room fill up just a little bit. I am on early, earlier than what I typically am on, but I felt God telling me that I needed to go ahead and come on. And so I obeyed. I literally obeyed. Our declaration is going to be what you focus on is what you will feel. It's raining here in Mississippi, y'all. I do have my coffee. I have already had one cup, but I definitely have another cup. I was planning on going ahead and doing my cardio. Um, that's what I was focused on, but the Lord told me that I needed to go live first. It is raining. It's pouring down pretty steadily, pretty steady. It most definitely is. But again, our declaration is what you focus on, you will feel. I'm going to say it again. Whatever it is that you focus on today, this weekend, is what you'll feel. If you focus on financial lack, guess what? You're going to feel financial lack. If you focus on sadness, grief, impatience, guess what? That is exactly what you're going to feel. I was spending some time with God. I was just sitting on the sofa and just listening to the rain. And watching one of my or loneliness. I was watching one of my shows, and the Lord just began to talk to me about the power of focus. Right? How focus not only fuels our emotions, but it also dictates the words that come out of our mouth. I'm going to say that again. Focus fuels our emotions. If you focus on rejection, you're going to feel rejected. Ooh. If you focus on, abandonment, you're going to feel abandoned. And that's just really what it is. Focus fuels our emotions. And our emotions kind of they play a major role on what we speak. Why do you think, like, when the enemy attacks us viciously, right? The first thing that the first effect that we feel from whatever the attack is an emotional response. I'm gonna just take my time with this one. Think about it. When the devil attacks you, and let's just say it feels like a very personal attack, even though we know it's not personal, the first response is an emotional response. Whether fear is the emotion that you feel, whether it's anger, whatever it is, the first thing that comes from it is an emotional response. And then think about the emotional response. What happens in the emotional response is your words, the words that you're the most tempted to speak are words that correlate to whatever the emotion is. Think about it. When you feel joyful, when you feel grateful, your words reflect the emotion that you feel. I'm going to say that again. Your words reflect whatever the emotion is. I woke up this morning, and before I could feel any type of way, it's like God automatically had me busy, and he began to just talk about me, and he began to tell me, like, listen, I know what your situation is, but I need you to know whatever you focus on today is what you're going to feel, right? And so what happens is what God wants us to begin to do is to make a choice as to what we focus on. Just like yesterday was a day where I focused on being a good steward. It was a day where I focused on gratitude, and my words reflected what I focus on. Your words will always reflect your focus. Can I get you to type that in? Your words will always reflect your focus. Your words will always reflect your focus. If you are focused on the past, focused on the struggle, guess what? Your words, most times out of 9 times out of 10, They are going to reflect where your focus is. If you are focused on Jesus, guess what? The words coming out of your mouth will reflect your focus on Jesus, no matter what it is that you're going through. And I think that that's something that we can learn from Peter. Peter's focus, it was all wrong. When Jesus called him to walk on water, he gave Peter what he asked for. I think, many of us don't understand that. Peter asked God, my Lord, if it's you, call me out onto the water. So when Jesus did, right? Peter lost his focus. And because he lost his focus, guess what? What happened next reflected where his focus was, which is why Jesus told him, "Oh, you of little faith," meaning had you just stayed focused on me, even though all of this was happening around you, the winds and waves, the storm gushing around you, you still would have been walking on the water, right? Why am I talking about this? Because many of us have winds and waves crashing around us. Many of us do. Pretty much everyone that catches this broadcast, you got winds and waves crashing around you, meaning attacks, circumstances that you need to see God move in. And God is saying, listen, fix your focus on me today. Fix your focus on me today so that your words may actually speak life into your circumstance, so that your words may actually dictate, right? That that your focus is on me. And the power of words is we'll always see fruit from it. Whether you speak, whether your words reflect a negative emotion, you're going to see the fruit of that, which is why he said what you focus on is what you will feel. Because whatever you feel will dictate what you speak. It'll dictate what you speak. And so today, make a choice, make a decision right now before the day even gets started that you're going to keep your eyes focused on Jesus, that you're going to focus on, being grateful, that you're even going to focus even on today, being a good steward. Some of y'all need to clean your house, clean up, organize, whatever it is that you need to do, whatever it is that you focus on will be what you feel. If you focus on being productive, guess what? You're going to feel productive. You're going to feel productive. You're absolutely going to feel productive. And so that's what he wanted me to share today. Get your focus right. Get your focus right. Hey, Kanema, get your focus right. Because whatever it is you focus on will be what you feel. And it's like when God put it to me that way, like, child, whatever you focus on, you'll feel. Whatever you feel, you will speak on. I'm going to say that again. He put it to me like that. Whatever you focus on will be what you feel. And whatever you feel will dictate the words that come out of your mouth. If you focus on feeling weary, guess what? You're going to feel weary. And guess what your words are going to reflect? They're going to reflect how you feel, which is weary. And because you speak according to feeling weary, guess what? You're going to reap the fruit of weariness. But I don't know about you guys. I want to reap the fruit of joy today. I want to reap a harvest of peace today. No matter what it looks like, right? Fix your focus. God says I need to say that again. Fix your focus. Fix your focus. And here's the thing. Choosing to focus on Jesus doesn't mean that the winds and waves aren't crashing around us. But fixing our focus on Jesus ensures that while we wait, we'll be more than all right. While we wait, we'll be more than at peace. And it's like, had Peter just focused on Jesus, he would have been at peace, right? He would have been at peace. He would have been doing the impossible. I pray that I'm making sense. But what we see is the moment that his eyes lost focus of Jesus, he panicked. Now we think about what comes with panic. It's anxiety. So it's safe to say Peter had an anxiety attack because he was overwhelmed by the winds and waves. Ooh, I'm going to say that again. Peter had an anxiety attack. Y'all hear me? He had an anxiety attack because he got overwhelmed by the winds and waves crashing around him. I say that to say, don't let that be you. Many of us have had anxiety attacks. Many of us have felt anxiety. Many of us are, y'all. Many of us have felt anxiety, right? God is just simply saying, you can have peace instead. You can have joy instead. I could have woke up this morning saying, God, you know, I could have woke up this morning focused on finances, focused on bills, focused on, things that I know I cannot control. But instead, I woke up this morning and said, God, it's going to be a good day. I could have woke up and said, God, I don't have all the food that I want. No. I woke up and said, God, I'm going to have me a cup of coffee. I'm going to sit and listen to this rain, and I'm chilling. I woke up grateful. And because I woke up grateful, it showed in my words. It showed in my words what my focus was. And so my question today is, what are you focused on? What are you focused on? What are you focused on? Hey, Capone. What are you focused on? Did you wake up focused on the issues? Did you wake up focused on the things you can't control? Did you wake up focused on the prophetic words that have not materialized yet? And here's the thing about I don't know why God want me to say this. Here's the thing about prophetic words. Just because it did not happen in a month, just because it did not happen overnight, does not mean that it was not God. Some prophetic words take time, right? The prophetic word God gave me when I was in the wilderness, before I entered into the wilderness, guess what? It took 3.5 years for me to see the fruit of that, right? The individual that I reached out to yesterday, that I talked to, that God had me speak prophetically over her life, guess what? It took a year for everything that God said, was going to happen to happen. God says I need to say that again because there are some of you guys that are struggling with the prophetic words spoken over your life simply because you don't see them materializing. And some of you guys have been down and out. Some of you guys have been in doubt, revolving around, not seeing the fruit on it, right? And some prophetic words, it just simply revolves around us. What do I mean by that? It revolves around our willingness, what we do in the process. I don't know who that's for, but I hear that. Just because it hadn't happened doesn't mean, and here's the thing, just because you hear a prophetic word over and over and over again doesn't mean that it's going to happen right then and there. It just simply means God needs you to know that there's something greater on the other side of where you are. All right. All right. It gives us hope for the future, which is what we need. Absolutely, Stephanie. Absolutely. 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 No. Absolutely. 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 Fix your focus. Fix your focus. Come away from that door. Now, don't let me say it again. Sweetie, get away from that door. You get away from that door. No. Fix your focus. Stop focusing on how much time has gone by. Stop focusing on what you do not yet have. Stop focusing on your current struggle. Stop it. Stop it. And that's the broadcast, man. That's the broadcast. Make today enjoyable. No matter what your circumstance looks like. Make today enjoyable. Make today enjoyable. Kanima, are you still here? Kanima, are you still here? You are not going to be homeless ever again. I don't know if that is something that you've been thinking about or what it is, or maybe that's a fear. I don't know what the circumstance has been. But God, He says you need to hear that. You are not going to be homeless ever again. Every word that God has spoken over your life, it is going to happen. Yeah. She says, yep, because I'm late on rent. You are not going to be homeless ever again. God says, I need to say that again. You are not going to be homeless ever again. You are not going to be homeless ever again. I know what I hear God saying. You're not, that's a fear that you have. It's a fear that you have. It is a fear that you have. And the Lord says, it's why you have not sold. It's why you have not sown, because you feel like, God, I need to save every last penny. And you do need to save. I need to save every last penny to pay on rent. But here's the thing that I hear: pay what you can on rent. I also hear rental assistance. Have you thought about, okay, Lord, have you thought about rental assistance? Rental assistance. Rental assistance. I don't know why I hear that. Rental assistance. If you have not applied, you need to apply. If you have not applied, you need to apply. And you need to talk to your landlord. You need to talk to your landlord. They'll work with you. Talk to your landlord. Talk to your landlord. They will work with you. I don't know why I hear that. Talk to your landlord. They will work with you. They'll work with you. God says to say that again. They will work with you. You got a fear of being turned down. They'll work with you. They will work with you. God says, I need to say that again. They'll work with you. You need to get that done ASAP. You need to get that done ASAP. And I'm here to tell you again, Kanima, you need to tithe. You need to tithe. God says, I need to tell you that again. You need to tithe. Even though you feel like, God, if I tithe, what? Tithe. Stay in rightful alignment. Tithe. Pay your tithes. That needs to be one of the first things that you do today. Tithe. And watch how God works it out for you. But you're not gonna be homeless. Whew. God says to tell you that again. You are not going to be homeless. You, I know what I hear God saying. You're not gonna be homeless. I need you to type that in on the screen. I will not be homeless. I need you to type that in on the screen, Kanima. I will not be homeless. God, I'm not gonna be homeless. I will not be homeless. I need you to type that in all bold. I will not be homeless. He's making me tell you this again. Pay your tithes. Your whatever the 10% is, pay your tithes and call the landlord. Pay your tithes and call the landlord. You are going to want to call the landlord first. Pay your tithes. Pay your tithes and call the landlord. That's it. They will give you some extra time. And then today needs to be spent cleaning your home, because that's what faith looks like. Clean your house. Put you on some worship music. Clean your house. Clean your house. Yeah, because that's what faith looks like. Do not prepare to leave. Y'all made an arrangement already. Well, that's your confirmation. You'll have what you need. She says they made an arrangement. That's your confirmation. But I know God said they'll work with you. Yeah. Pay your tithes though. I hear that. And get that done now. Whew. Get it done now. You're not gonna be homeless though. So you need to you need to stop stressing about that. You need to stop stressing about that. God also wants you to be looking into jobs. Now, I want to say He's told me to tell you that before. You can't get a new job if you don't look. But it's like with everything that God promises you, it's like you feel like there are so many obstacles that stand in the way of like you doing what God needs you to do. You be feeling like God has so many different obstacles that are standing in the way. It's not your job to focus on the obstacles. Do what you can and let God do the rest. Do what you can. Do what you can and let God do the rest. And that's the word of the Lord for you. Pay those tithes, sis. I love y'all. I am rooting for you guys. Listen, it ain't your job to worry about the obstacles. It's like whenever you think about employment, you be like, God, how am I get there? God hear you. He's showing me what you be doing. New job. There's a comfort. I don't know if the job that you work at is close in proximity, but you need not worry about the how. You absolutely need not worry about the how. The Lord says to tell you, do not worry about the how. He says, say it again, do not worry about the how. Just do your part. Just do your part. Just do your part. So listen, I love y'all. I'm rooting for you guys. Fix your focus. If you feel led to sow, those are the ways to sow. If you need to tithe, tithe. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. And so until next time, y'all.